In this video, we're going to be talking about how to create a spa menu that sells. So, we're going to be talking all about your spa menu, how you're going to make your spa menu. Those of you who are joining on Instagram, welcome. Just letting you know we are live on YouTube as well if you did want to switch over. But either way, however you're watching is perfectly fine with me. Let me make sure I can see the chat. Where's the chat? Cool. So, yeah, we are talking about how to create a spa menu. But if this is your first time watching me, my name is Ayana. I'm a licensed massage therapist, esthetician, and spa owner. I'm also a business strategist and coach for massage therapists and spa professionals who are looking to build and scale their businesses. So, in this video, again, we are talking about how to create your spa menu. I'm going to give y'all an opportunity to share where you're watching from because I love hearing where y'all are watching from. I think the last live, we got some people from the UK, Africa, so that's amazing. Just seen your live. Oh, you got notifications. Yes, good. Keep those notifications on. And if you're not a subscriber yet, consider subscribing. So yeah, welcome. I see Texas. I see Houston. I see Atlanta. You moved to Atlanta, girl? Okay, I see a former student in here. You moved to Atlanta. That's amazing. Okay. I see Louisiana, Dallas. I love when former students come on here. Alumni. I see Bahamas. Welcome from the Bahamas. This is so exciting. New day to you as well. I can't wait to get into this. So I'm actually really just going to dive on in. Feel free to still say where you're watching from. I see Arizona, but you're from LA. Awesome. California girl. Detroit. I need to make my way back out there to California. Matter of fact. All right. Okay, so we're going to be talking about creating your spa menu. So I'm super excited to be sharing this information with you. I love that we've been doing more lives, especially in lieu of filmed YouTube videos. I've been loving that flexibility, so that's been great. I see Jacksonville, Florida, Columbia, South Carolina. Awesome. Cool. Okay, yeah, show me around California. I'm actually from San Diego, so that's pretty cool. All right, so okay, so I have a couple of points here, and those of you who are, let's say, alumni of SpaBizSuccess or any of my programs, you're already aware of some of this information. We call it our standout services, and we already go through how you're going to price these services, how you're going to create these descriptions, and really create a service menu that sells. But for those of you who are not students, I did want to provide some information on this because I know some of you want more information on how do you even get started with selecting the types of services that you create to help your clients. Welcome from the UK, North Carolina. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And so that's what we want to talk about. So I have three main points, and I'll go into each and every one of them. I highly recommend following along. And again, if you get something out of this, please like this video or also subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. I know most of you are already subscribers, so you got that notification. But yes, so also another thing, if you are watching the replay, if you end up catching the replay, comment and say that you're watching the replay. And a recommendation I have for you, especially if you get a lot out of this video, is to go ahead and watch the video that I created about discovering your niche. Because if you go through that information, it's going to help you tremendously, especially as you start implementing the information I'm about to share with you today. Welcome, welcome. All right, so again, watch that niche video. I think it's super helpful and super in-depth. And if you haven't really figured out what is your go-to, what is your niche, then I highly recommend that video. You can find it on my channel, or you can also find it on Instagram Live. And also, if you're watching this and you're not added on Instagram, go ahead and add me on Instagram. I'll actually type it. It's at Ayana True. And that's where you can find me on Instagram and see daily in the live type of content. Welcome from NYC. All right, so one of the first things that you need to do when you are creating your spa menu is to really understand what are your clients' needs, preferences, and pain points. Now, the only way you're going to do this effectively is if you have a go-to niche, because if you do different types of massage, let's say you do sports massage, you do prenatal massage, you do relaxation massage, you do deep tissue massage, the people who are getting those services, they all have different reasons why they're coming in for the service. But if you do, let's say, prenatal massage, I always use prenatal massage as an example. But if you do prenatal massage, you already know their pain points. Of course, every client is an individual, but there are going to be guaranteed things that they are struggling with, such as feet swelling. They might have issues even with inflammation because they're on their feet so much and carrying, extra weight because they're carrying a child. And just other issues. You already know what some of their contraindications are because they're pregnant. You already know some of their needs. They need to be propped up in a particular way. And so if you have a particular clientele that you specialize in, you become the expert on what their pain points are. You start hearing the same things over and over, what they're telling you, and you start to understand what it is that they like and other services that they're going to need in their life to enhance their health and enhance their wellness. So that is essentially what happens when you do niche down to a particular clientele. And so that's why I recommend watching that niche video, whether that's after this video or before, whatever. Just figure out what your niche is because that's going to help you conduct that market research. Now, there are a couple ways that you can conduct market research before you create your spa menu. So one of the first ways, and one of my favorite ways, is to look at other people who specialize in your service. And we talked about this at the last live. But look at other cities. So if you live in Texas, look at let's say the prenatal spas in Georgia or in Arizona or in California and start to see where you see not coincidences, but where things overlap. So start to draw inspiration from that. Again, as we discussed in the last live, you're not going to copy someone else's business idea or, how they brand themselves, but you are going to get some inspiration to see what are some of the needs of their clients. You're going to read some Google reviews, see what their clients are saying about them. So that is one of the ways that you can conduct market research is simply just Googling your local competition, but also, other spas that are similar to you in other cities, in other states, even in other countries, and look to see what's working for them and read their Google reviews, read what they're doing on Facebook, and get some inspiration from that. See what type of services that they are offering. You may get some ideas. And this is actually going to drip into the second point that we'll get to in a minute. But one thing that I want to mention about understanding your client's needs, preferences, and pain points is I want you to conduct verbal surveys. So that is the main way that I do my research is really just conducting verbal surveys with my clients, especially because my clientele is so niche down. And I feel like that's another reason why we have such a high retention rate is because I already understand what they need, what their pain points are, even before sometimes they tell me. I still offer consultations, just in case someone has a special case. But typically I have a good idea, especially doing this for as long as I've been doing it. I have an idea of what they need and what services would be best for them, especially based on what they tell me. And so you can conduct verbal surveys with your current clients. Simply ask them, what are some services that you like to get on a regular basis? What are some services you've been seeing on TikTok or that you've been curious about? And really, this is where I get my best business ideas is just simply by talking to my clients and listening to them, really actively listening to some of the things that they say and also paying attention to the other services that they're getting. So let's say I wanted to, and I'm an esthetician as well. Let's say I wanted to transition into doing lashes. I feel like I could easily do that just because I know that a majority of my clients, they get their lashes done. And I only know this because I spend a good amount of time working with my clients hands-on and seeing just some of the overlap between all of my clients. So that is why, number one, it's so important to niche down to a particular clientele and really become the expert in that. But really conduct those verbal surveys. So really just ask them. And oftentimes they're going to be more than excited to tell you what are some of the services that they'd be interested in. And sometimes they'll ask you straight out, like, do you offer this? Do you offer that? I've been reading up on this. And anytime a client does that, you really want to write that down, pay attention to that, because that could be a future service offering. This is how you validate your service offering. This is how you figure out it's going to be more of a success. If you offer a service that is kind of random and has no validation behind it, there's no guarantee that that service is actually going to sell. So don't even waste your time like trying to put out a random service that maybe your clients have never even heard of. And in some cases, that can be successful. But what I would recommend is do some research first. Really talk to your clients and do some market research to see what types of services are adjacent to what you're already doing. So go ahead and type in the chat if you follow so far before we move on to the next piece of this. And also, I'd love to know, what phase of business are you currently in right now? So are you beginning? Are you well into it? Do you have any employees at this time? I'm really curious to know what phase of your business you're in, and also if you follow this information so far. And welcome in some of the people who are still coming in. But yeah, I'd love to hear that feedback, especially before we move into my second point as y'all follow along and create your spa services. Just note the common thread, what seems to be working well. Exactly. See what's working well, see what they're interested in. Start to understand this. And I feel like one of the things that gave me an advantage is the fact that I did mobile for so long. I did mobile for a really long time. And it really gives you a new perspective when you're mobile, because you're literally in your client's home. You start to really understand them as a person. You start to see like common threads. So that is something that I feel like really helped me in the beginning. I'm seeing some of you are in the beginning phases, currently creating a business plan after graduation in December. That's exciting. Beginning stages. Atlanta, I'm starting school in 2 weeks, and I'm just planning what to do after graduation. I feel like you're in the right place. I'm about to start massage school. I'm at the very, very beginning, starting to graduate Saturday. Oh, congratulations. Starting in September to be mobile with no experience. That is so exciting. Beginning past the MBLEX a month ago. Welcome in, Angel. Hi. Beginning mobile massage. This is so exciting. Y'all are in the right place. So thanks for sharing that. All right. So just another point when it comes to doing your market research before you create your spa services is, in addition to just simply asking them, you could do this digitally. So in the last live, I told y'all how I'm sending out a survey to my entire email list, my email list of clients, to understand what we're doing well, what we could improve on. You could essentially do that same thing, but asking them what services they would like to have. And even if you haven't launched yet, I've talked about a lot in my workshops, if you've attended any of my workshops, about why creating a waitlist is so important. And one of the questions you can ask when you are asking them to be on your waitlist is, what are some of the services you're most excited to get from me? You can also just put a poll on IG. So IG does have this amazing feature where you can poll your audience. You can poll the people that follow you. So you can go ahead and do that and start to understand what are some of the services that they want, so you can validate that service before you actually offer it. I see Kay from Philadelphia, beginning stages, currently working at a spa, but want to start marketing to post-op and body contouring clients. I love that. Yes. I see Connecticut. I just completed my first year in business. I'm not full-time yet. LMT from Baltimore. I hope you all see how valuable this is, that a lot of you are in the beginning stages and could honestly be learning from each other. So one of the resources I have for you, and this is on the side, is in the description box of this video. If you are watching on YouTube, is we do have a free Facebook group that you can join and connect with each other and learn from each other that way. And some of you are actually watching from that Facebook group, so that's awesome. Okay, so let's get into designing your service offering. Let's talk about that for a moment. So, when it comes to designing your service offering, um, you can try to do popular and trendy services. So that will happen every so often is on TikTok, on Instagram, on social media. You'll come across new services that maybe you haven't heard of before. Maybe you want to get more training in. But I would only recommend doing that if it relates to your ideal clients. And everything just comes back to niching down. I've told y'all in my master classes, I've told y'all in my workshops, how that really changed the game for me. And I'm always going to talk about it because it really does help you take the guesswork out of creating your services because you already know who you're creating them for versus a general audience of customers who could be looking for 10 different types of things. So you can try those popular and trendy services. If you can think of any that you've been seeing lately, I would love for you to type in the chat because I'd love to hear what are some new things that are coming out. I remember when even sugaring became a thing, sugaring for waxing if you're an esthetician, and how everyone just wanted trainings on doing sugaring. But that is an example of one. If you can think of another one, please put it in the chat of a service that you're kind of curious about or you've been seeing, but you're just not sure if you want to hop in yet. But one of the biggest parts of designing your service offering, and this is probably the most important part of this whole live, is no matter what service you offer, you always want to put your own touch on it. That's kind of a pun, put your own touch on it. But you want to make sure that you put your own spin on it, something that no one else can emulate, something that only really you can do. So you want to make your own special type of service. Even if other people are doing a similar service. So for example, Swedish massage. So usually when I work with spa owners, especially spa owners who are building their businesses, one of the first things I need to do is understand who they are as a person, what their story is, because that's going to help us create their services and create really what makes them different, what makes them stand out. And really all of that, your story, who you are, that should be infused in your services some type of way, whether that's even your values, your mission, whatever that is. And so that's super important when I'm working with someone. But even for you watching this video, I really want you to think about what can you do to your services that really makes it stand out. Even if you're doing, let's say, a Swedish massage, you're just doing a 90-minute Swedish massage. We all know, the general techniques that you would do in a Swedish massage. But how can you make it different? Maybe you even title it something different. Maybe you have a different name for it. But the more unique that you can be, the more intrigue that you can bring to you in your business. Because something that I've noticed in my practice, or even just in the spa industry in general, is that clients are really intrigued when there's a new type of service or a service they've kind of heard of, but they want to try, but especially if it's different because it's a new experience. It's a brand new experience. Let me know if you've also noticed that people are just so intrigued, and maybe this is just a human thing, but we want unique experiences, something that no one else can emulate. An example of this, like a real life example is, and I believe I talked about this before, but when I went to Costa Rica for the first time and I stayed at a resort, they offered massages. So of course I had to check out the spa and check out, what their spa was looking like, what services they had. And I don't remember the name of the service. I really think it was something of they had their own name for it, but I knew it was going to be more like a Swedish massage. But they put their own spin on it. They put their own spin on what it means to give a Swedish massage. They did a lot of different things or added so many things into the service that made it just so different. And so I want you to think about that when you are creating your services. So even if you just offer, let's say, a Swedish massage, make it different. If you offer a basic facial, make it different some type of way, whether that's how you title the service, whether that is some of the techniques that you use in the service, or even just your philosophy for why you offer the service. So figure out what makes you stand out. And again, if there is a type of service that you offer that no one else offers, type that in the chat because I'd love to hear more about that. But again, that's super important. And then in addition to, let's say you create these services, they're different, no one else can implement these services. I want you to map it out on paper. So really map out what is the protocol for the service on paper. That's super important because not only will it help you provide the best customer service to have like a very unique protocol for the service. So this is the beginning, the end, and of course it'll be customized per your client. But once you have that protocol, that can also help you when it comes time to scale your business. So when it comes time to scale your business, you'll notice that a lot of it is paperwork. It's making sure you have the right protocols in place, making sure that you have the right SOPs, so standard operating procedures, because when you bring other people into your business, you want to make sure that they're doing everything right so that your clients have the best customer service. You'll notice that any massage envy that you ever go to, even though you're doing your own customized massage, there are standard operating procedures for certain things like add-ons or enhancements, as they call them. Most of y'all have noticed that as well, how there's going to be a beginning, middle, and end, and it's all documented. It's all documented. And so every massage envy across the country is going to do it like a very similar way. So I want you to think of your business as an organization just like that. So make sure when you do create your special service to document that and create your protocol, especially if you are considering adding employees or contractors to your business down the road. I want to make sure y'all are still with me. So go ahead and type in the chat if this is helpful so far. If you're getting something from this, you're getting some inspiration or ideas, or you're feeling motivated to really step up your game when it comes to the services that you're offering. Let me know. Especially before we dive into the third part of this live. Innerworks NYC says this is helpful. Shaylin says it's very helpful. That's good to hear. Seeing Massages by Lucy. This is helpful. Awesome. Sister to Sister Academy. Lover niece, welcome in. Kay, awesome. I'm so glad this is helpful so far because we're not even to the third step. Extremely helpful, very motivated, had me branding ideas for sure. Awesome. That's so good to hear. It makes me excited to know my idea on being different are validated. Absolutely. I feel like one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of massage therapists make, and I've made this mistake as well when I first got started in 2018, is I really did think I had to be like everyone else. I didn't even think that I could create my own special service. But something I noticed, especially knowing other full-time spa owners, is that they always have something that makes them unique. It doesn't even have to be down to your service. It could be something about your space. It could be something about your philosophy, and it could be something about how you interact with your clients. So really think about that and try to be different where you can, because we have a lot of competition. We have a lot of big businesses that employ massage therapists that a lot of clients have the option of going to. So when you do have your own client at your own business, it's always because of you. It's because you're doing something differently. So really think about that. All right, so let's move on to the third one. And this is super important. SpaBizSuccess students already know how this goes, but I really want you to show and sell. So you ever heard that term, show and tell? So tell people. I feel like one of the biggest mistakes that massage therapists, spa owners, spa professionals make is, especially when you're describing your service, you put a really big description, like it's over described. Like it's, and I understand the logic behind it. You want to make sure your clients understand like what they're getting, but sometimes you want to leave something to the imagination when it comes to, under promising, over deliver. Is that how that saying goes? Yeah, under promise, over deliver. I talked about this in the last live. So I don't want you to over describe your services. A lot of you are putting like really in-depth stuff, and it's kind of just cluttered, and it's kind of just overwhelming for your client who's trying to make a decision about booking with you. I would recommend to show them what the service is like. And this is where content is going to come into play. We're definitely going to be talking a lot more about content on this channel, especially as I play around with different content to bring in organic traffic into my business. So I want you to show them so that you can sell the service. So this means that you really do need, and whether you work with a friend or a colleague or a coworker, have videos of your service, because something that I've talked about quite a bit is something like massage or facials, waxings, things like that. Sometimes, because it's such an intangible thing, especially body work, energy work, or massage, because we know it's tangible, right? But it seems so intangible. So when you have, let's say, something like these flowers, like this is easy to sell because there's probably benefits to having flowers in your home. It enhances beauty, all that stuff. Or even just a regular product that you would see on Amazon. You can see the product. But when it comes to massage, you don't really see it. It's something that you feel, and it's something that affects you over the long term, even though it can affect you just simply after the session. And so because of that, it can be a little bit more difficult to sell the benefits of massage. I mean, we know all the benefits, we understand how it promotes your health and all that stuff, and we can talk about that all day. But really, let's show them what this is like. So have videos of your services, especially a new service. That is so important. So once you've figured out what your service offerings are and you've narrowed down who it's for, and you've added your own spin on them, and you've already documented them and created your protocol, put it on paper, really get some good videos of this service in order to sell that service, and really have this on anywhere that you post content, or even on your website, or anywhere that you sell your services. I believe that's super important. And not only just have videos of it, but get some testimonials, whether those are video testimonials or written testimonials. That is really important. And the best part about having those testimonials is really having them express the benefit. Like, what is the result that they got? Because when people are making a decision about purchasing something, especially something that takes up their time. So if I get like an hour massage, that's going to take an hour of my time. I really need to know what are the benefits of that, especially let's say if I'm new to this world of health and wellness. So that is something that I would recommend. Shooting my first quick video of my service. Yes. Massages by Lucy said, I love the simple minimalist approach when it comes to the spa menu, but add your own little flair when it comes to actually doing the work. Absolutely. I feel that's so important. So really show and sell your service. Show the benefits, show the testimonials, show what it looks like in your treatment room, show what it looks like when they book a mobile massage. What does that look like to have a massage therapist or esthetician in the home doing a service? And even when you do that, I really want it to represent who your clients are as a whole. So, for example, in the beginning of my mobile business, before I started working with post-op patients and I was doing more traditional massage, something that I noticed, and again, this goes back to the first point of when you work with someone more than once, you start to see the overlap. But something that I noticed is that the people who were more likely to rebook with me for a mobile massage session were clients who had, let's say, large homes, like clients in certain zip codes, like clients that had more extra disposable income for mobile massage. That is something that I noticed. And so I would be out by the pool. I've done massages in mansions. I've done massages in like really, really inspiring places. And that's probably because of the certain clientele that I was tapping into that would be interested in mobile massage, at least in my area. And so when I would get my videos, I would show videos of, okay, we're in someone's in-home theater, or we're in someone's like game room, or we're in, this house by the lake. Because when clients see that, they see, oh, I have a house by the lake. I should probably be getting mobile massage. I didn't even know that was a thing. So really think about that. So example, if you work with prenatal clients, show that you work with prenatal clients, because other clients who are curious about your services will see that and then automatically start to associate you with the person who does prenatal massage. So that is something that I want you to think about when you are showing and selling your services. Always use that main benefit or result that you're offering to create your description. So whatever your clients are telling you about the service, because you always want to get that verbal feedback. How are you feeling? What was that like for you? Because you want to get the feedback whether it's good or bad. You want to get that feedback. So use those same words that your clients are describing when they're telling you how the service was for them in your descriptions. Instead of having this over complicated description of your service, using all these words that some people may or may not recognize, trying to make it fancy. Instead of doing that, just use the same words that your clients are verbally telling you they got from the service. So if you notice that all your Google reviews, they say that you are relaxing. This is just an example. Everyone uses the term relaxing to describe massage. But if they say that it was unique, if they say it was not what they expected in a good way, then use that in your service description, because that's going to really meet their expectations when they actually do the service. So that's something I want you to think about. So do not over describe your service. Just simply show them what they're getting and use those same terms that your clients are telling you verbally or in their reviews or in their feedback. Use that in your description instead of having these overcomplicated, really in-depth services. Because I think we've all had that experience of being curious about a service or about a product even, but we didn't fully understand completely because it was just so complicated and just so much, overwhelming. So let me know if that is helpful when it comes to creating your spa services. And also let me know what type of services y'all are offering so far. And as y'all are typing that, I want to mention that even when I was thinking about my spa services, so I have a different type of spa. I mostly do, let's say, post-op work. But anytime I offered any new service, it was always because my client said that they wanted it. I've never offered anything at this point in my business that I didn't hear my client already saying that they wanted or they got somewhere else. But now I'm offering it, so that eliminates the need to go to someone else. So think about that when it comes to your services. One of my clients has a massage and yoga room. That's really cool. 91210. Awesome. Yeah, I feel like this period right now, like we're in the summer, like sometimes things are a little bit more slowed down. Right before we get into the fall time and like the holidays and people just consuming and trying to get gifts for their loved ones, we really should be planning this stuff out. We should be planning what are some of the new services we could be offering. Sometimes you need that change in your business. I see muscle alignment, hacking the muscle and reprogramming for better movement. Ooh, that's interesting. I like that. Just got my aesthetic license, so I'm adding facials. I love that. I'm seeing some lymphatic drainage, mobility, cupping. San Diego, California. Welcome. No, I've never had someone ask for a discount for making content with them. I mean, most clients are going to be more than happy to let you film, especially if you, let's say, you have like a photo consent or that when you do your intake, you can ask for verbal or like a written photo consent. That is something that you can do. And even just work on people that you know. People that you know will always be willing to let you create content. Poolside massage, there is a huge market for people who want poolside or just like massage in unique places such as the beach, um, or even like travel massage therapists. So massage therapists that travel with them. Back facials, love that. I love all these facials. So some of y'all are estheticians too. I love that. So I'm going to recap some of the things that we're talking about. Let's see. So, one of the first things is understand your clients' needs. So, understand what your clients need, do your market research. We talked about how you're going to do your market research, some of my favorite methods for doing market research. And then we talked about designing your service offering. So, again, you can try those like trendy services that you're curious about. I feel like that's what makes life fun, is trying new things like that. But just make sure that it fits with your ideal clientele, so the people that you want to be working with in the first place. And then one of the things that we talked about is to show and sell. So show and sell, do not over explain, do not over describe. Just show them what it looks like. Show them what it looks like. If you have before and afters are crucial, especially when you're working with beauty clients or clients that are more into aesthetics. If you do more aesthetics or esthetician work, before and afters are crucial. But y'all already know that. Having testimonials, showing what it looks like to get a treatment done. But most importantly, making sure that you're showing that you work with people just like them. So you work with clients who are struggling with the same things that they're struggling with. That is so, so important. Okay, so we did our recap. I'm seeing some of the services y'all are offering. I'm seeing aromatherapy, stretching, cupping, enhancements. One of the things I want to mention is, if you do in the future want more in-depth trainings or more in-depth uh, help when it comes to your branding, your services, things like that, I do have the waitlist for SpaBizSuccess in the description of this video. So you can get on the waitlist for that. And then whenever we open a new cohort, you're more than welcome to get more information on that. And then also, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, consider subscribing so that you don't miss more lives, because we are doing more lives right now, especially as I film more videos. And definitely share with other massage therapist friends or spa owner friends that really need this information. Okay, so definitely need help with branding. Yes, we go through all of that. Branding, figuring out what makes you different, niching down. We just go into depth, and then you get the tools to really map it out. Awesome. Yes. And so, usually at the end of each live, I love to ask you all, what are some of the things that you need help with? You have an opportunity to tell me, what are some of the videos that you want to see? What are some of the things that would really help you with building your massage businesses? Because as I mentioned before, I'm really on a mission to help over 100 massage therapists, spa professionals really start their businesses and make it their full-time income this year, 2023. So go ahead and type that if you have any videos that you would like to see in the future, any live ideas that you'd like to see in the future. You can always DM me as well on Instagram if that's something you want to share with me, so I know what type of content we need to be putting out here to help y'all with that. And also let me know, what are your takeaways from this live? If you don't have any video ideas, let me know, what are some of your takeaways? I'm seeing more marketing. Okay. We can definitely talk about more marketing, and hopefully you've seen some of the other videos on marketing, pricing services. I do have a video on that, but we can definitely make more videos regarding that. And again, I highly recommend signing up for the waitlist in the description below and seeing all the other resources down there, all the other free resources. And also, what are your takeaways? Seeing marketing. Awesome. So something that I want y'all to do is really think about, like, what are you offering right now? Does it really align with the clients that you're working with, or even with the clients that you want to work with? Again, I recommend watching that video on niching down, looking at some of the resources that I have in the description for you, and really thinking about, like, do your services really match up with, number one, who you are, what you want to be doing? Are there some services that you should be taking off your list because you actually don't enjoy doing them, and like your energy is low when you have to do this service? Think about that. And if you are at a spa, think about, what are some of the services that you resent doing? I know when I worked at a spa, I really, in a lot of other people are like this too, but I really did not like doing deep tissue. So I knew when I start my business one day, I'm not going to offer deep tissue. I'm going to offer something that, makes me feel good about offering, something that I can become the expert in, something that I'm a professional at. So be thinking about that, especially if you haven't started your business yet. Massages by Lucy said, takeaway, show more than telling. Yes. Show and sell those services. The pros and cons of brick and mortar versus mobile services. We can definitely talk about that. My takeaway is being unique and not being afraid to personalize my service. Yes, definitely personalize your services. I feel like even customized massages are so underrated. To have a customized massage, a massage customized to you, but also you have to customize the massage just by being you, just by being who you are as a professional, as a practitioner. That's so important. Awesome. Well, I really enjoyed being live with you all today. I'm so happy that a lot of you stayed until the end. Again, consider subscribing and liking this video and sharing it with other spa owners, other spa professionals that really need information like this. I highly recommend adding the notification. There is a notification bell where you can be notified when we do these lives like this. And there are some free resources in the description box below for you, as well as our free Facebook group where we all can just learn from each other. Awesome. Well, I will see y'all in the next live. Again, you want to make sure to be on the email list. There is a link to that in the description box below so that you can be notified of new lives or even new videos or even funding opportunities. Just so many different things that I like to put out there to help you all when it comes to your massage business. And I will see y'all in the next live.